Oh, this is a great story. Lauren Windsor, who I know we've played some of the audio that she has recorded in the past. She is she goes around to a lot of these Republican functions. Sometimes she'll put on like a Southern accent,
Yes.
which apparently is very effective.
She's genius.
But she will attend these functions. She'll pay for them. She uses a real name. Go to the function and go up and to be fair, pretend that she's a fan of some of these people and act supportive and get them to talk on the record. And she has done this at a Supreme Court gala last week. What was the name of the gala?
It was for the Supreme Court Historical Society.
The Supreme Court Historical Society. Yeah. And all the bigwigs were there.
Yeah.
And she paid for her ticket. She went, like I say, in her own name. And she first approached, I don't know what the order in which she did these things, but I don't know if she did Roberts first or she did Alito and his wife first, but it doesn't matter. Let's play the clip from John Roberts because I am not a fan of John Roberts. I should just tell you, full disclosure. I don't pull up a flag, let's put it that way, in front of my house or my apartment to show my disdain for John Roberts. But here is John Roberts in what I think the people there felt like would be a off-the-record moment, probably, right? There's no reason to, she's recording the device. She doesn't have a microphone in her hand. Somehow she records it. We're not quite clear how. And asking John Roberts these questions and basically saying, and she's posing as a Christian conservative herself. And listen to the way that John Roberts responds in a way that I think is like what is indicative of a judicial temperament.
I did want to ask you, specifically, with everything that's going on right now, it's a very tumultuous time in the country, and I'm just curious, from your perspective in the court, how do we start to repair the polarization?
The first thing I think is to tell me when the non-tumultuous time has been here. I mean, you look at the court, what the court was doing in the 60s, what the court was doing during the New Deal, what the court was doing, after Dred Scott and all this. It's kind of a regular thing. People think it's so different and special. It's been pretty tumultuous for a long time.
So you think this is a normal period?
I don't know if it's normal. I mean, since I've been here almost 20 years, there have been quieter times. But the idea that the court is in the middle of a lot of tumultuous stuff going on, that's nothing new.
I guess I wouldn't say that it's not like it's an innovative thing. It's not new. I guess I really feel like we're at a point in our country where the polarization is so extreme that it might be irreparable.
Oh, I don't think that.
I think
it's extreme. It's like the Civil War. We did that during Vietnam. People were getting killed I was there in Vietnam. This is all right. I mean, it's not all right, but it's not like it's as dramatically different. It's a common thing. People with their own perspective think this is so extraordinary. I don't know.
But you don't think there's a role for the court in guiding us toward a more moral path?
No, I think the role for the court is deciding the cases. If I start, would you want me to be in charge of guiding us toward a more moral path? That's for the people we elect. That's not for lawyers.
Well, I guess I believe that the founders were godly, we're Christians, and I think that we live in a Christian nation, and that our Supreme Court should be guiding us in that path.
Yeah, I don't know that we live in a Christian nation. I know a lot of Jewish and Muslim friends who would say maybe not, and it's not our job to do that. It's our job to decide the cases as best we can.
Well,
much more modest job than other people.
I don't have monopolize your time. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Not at all.
Thank you so much.
All right, you know what? That's a fairly normal response.
I could have answered the same way.
Yeah, pretty close, right? I think pretty close. I would have been a little bit more alarmist by people like her like that she was portraying to be. But, I'm not a Supreme Court justice. This guy responded in the way that, A, I hope he feels in his head. But B, even if he doesn't feel that way, understands that, like, he's a Supreme Court justice. And I'm not like some dude who, calls into Mark Levin's show. I'm a Supreme Court justice. I know this is, this isn't like a cocktail party at his house. It's it's not a public event. You got to buy tickets.
Right.
But that's the responsible way a normal, well-adjusted person responds when they are one of the most powerful people in the country, maybe one of the 9 most powerful people, one of the 10, 12,
right.
12, 13 most powerful people who aren't billionaires, frankly, in this country. Now, let's listen to what a lunatic, who also happens to be a Supreme Court justice, sounds like. This is Sam Alito.
To a random stranger, by the way.
Yeah, well, to be fair, she says, I met you last year.
Right, okay.
And it's at like a conservative event, so.
This is not a conservative event.
No, it's a Supreme Court
This
event.
is a Supreme Court Historical Society gala.
Right, okay.
So it's just a random citizen who, of course, could afford the fee, which I would imagine was quite expensive. But this guy's a lunatic.
Hi, I wanted to say hello to you again. My name's Lauren. I met you last year. I think you already met. So anyway, I wanted to tell you, my husband wanted to be here, but then asked me a business thing, and just like make sure that you tell Justice Alito that like he is a fighter and we appreciate him and he has all the grit, and I know it's got to be terrible what you and your family are going through right now, so I'm just so sorry.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
But, and I'm sure you don't remember this at all, but what I had asked you about was about the polarization in this country, about like how do we repair that rift, and considering everything that's been going on in the past year, as a Catholic and as someone who like really cherishes my faith, I don't know that we can negotiate with the left in the way that like needs to happen for the polarization to end. I think that it's a matter of like winning.
Pause it. So she set up this dynamic.
Yeah.
That the country is polarized, and I'm on the right, and it's the left. I don't think we can negotiate with the left. Now she's talking to a Supreme Court justice.
Yep.
There used to be a thing that they would talk about, judicial temperament. That if you talk to anybody who's a lawyer over the age of 50, and you talk to them about a judge, what's the most important thing? They've got to be smart and have judicial temperament. That's what they'll all say. And judicial temperament, when you're talking about like polarization, the way you respond to that with Roberts, it goes like, it's really not that bad.
Right.
I mean, we've had a civil war in this country. Vietnam almost tore us apart. The New Deal was, we had almost people, there was almost an attempted coup with FDR. I mean, anybody who has like any type of sense, and I'm not even talking about like you need to be intellectual, so heavyweight. You need to be like a middling, of intellect, have some vague notion of the history of the country, and just not be a lunatic. And if you're a Supreme Court justice, you should think that you should surpass that bar. Well, here's how he responds.
It is a matter of like winning.
I think you're probably right. I think one side or the other is going to win. I don't know. I mean, there can be a way of working, a way of living together peacefully, but it's difficult, because there are differences on.
Pause it for 1 second. This guy's now saying that there can be a way to live peacefully. Like, what is it that he imagines is going down? We're in like Tim Pool level now, prognostications.
Oh, yeah.
As to where we're going. And he says, but it's difficult. All right, go back a little bit because I want people to like hear where he's going with this. This is really disturbing. I don't know that it's anything terribly different than we had speculated.
Right.
But it's one thing to be speculating about this stuff, sitting in my chair speculating about it. It's another to have him so wedded to this worldview that he feels comfortable talking about it to a total stranger who has said, really, I think you're great and you got a lot of grit. You're a great fighter. I'm a fundamentalist Catholic. I know you are too. And then off to the races.
I mean, there can be a way of working, a way of living together peacefully, but it's difficult, because there are differences on fundamental things that really can't be compromised. Really can't be compromised. So it's not like we're going to split the difference.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that the solution really is like winning the moral argument. Like people in this country who believe in God have got to keep fighting for that to return our country to a place of godliness.
Oh, I agree with you.
Can we pause that for a sec? Just leave that up on the screen, that quote. I want to return the country to a place of godliness. There, can we just go back 5 seconds so we can look at the quote? I like people in this country who believe in God have got to keep fighting for that, to return our country to a place of godliness. That's what undercover, Lauren says. He says, I agree with you. I agree with you. And then you just get that is all you need to see right there. That's Justice Alito essentially saying that the country needs to return to a place of Christian values. Or what does godliness means? I mean, you can interpret it in a variety of different ways, but oftentimes it just means to a more conservative mindset that can include things from like controlling women's reproductive health to anti-LGBTQ stuff to white supremacy. It can mean a lot of different things.
Well, let's just remember what Roberts said. Roberts pushed back on this notion of like, that's not our job.
Yep.
It's not our job. And I don't think I don't think that's what we're supposed to do. Meanwhile, he's talking about, and I hope that Joe Biden hears this. There are fundamental things that can't be compromised. For a long time, we heard from so-called moderate Democrats, conservative Democrats, Hillary Clinton back in 2004, we need to compromise over this whole abortion thing. We can find a middle ground. There is no middle ground with these people. There is no middle ground with these people. They are not looking to reduce teen pregnancies, which we were told back in the 1990s and the aughts. They're not looking to reduce the number of abortions. They're looking to take away the right of people to get abortions, period. And then they're going to take away the right for people to control their reproductive systems, period. That's what's going on here. I mean, there was a clip from Turning Point's memo. Maybe I didn't send that, of where you had someone up there, Turning Point's USA, sorry, a woman advocating we need to stop, you need to stop having sex. You need to stop taking birth control. We need to get rid of this stuff. We need to go back to allowing God to control your bodies. This is not hypothetical. This is not, hysterical. This is a Supreme Court justice who's saying, yes, I agree with you. We got to get back to godliness in this country. In fact, he agrees with her so much, he has to say it twice. Go ahead.
believe in God have got to keep fighting for that to return our country to a place of godliness.
Oh, I agree with you.
Because we look at like the decline of our society, the decline of the nuclear family, and liberals, I just feel like, want to see that happen and proliferate. And I think we've been too permissive to say, oh, okay, I understand the Constitution. I understand, like, I want to interrupt.
Somebody interrupted. All right, there's no more of this.
Then it goes back to 2023.
And there's no more of that conversation. Okay. So there's Justice Alito, saved by the bell, essentially, in many respects. I was very curious to hear what he was going to say after that point. But,
right. It was revelatory, but perhaps not as unhinged as her conversation with his wife.
Well, that's a high bar.
Yeah.
Because this guy's going on, and here is so Lauren Windsor. She has recorded Alito. She has recorded Roberts. Roberts gives answers that you would anticipate from a Supreme Court justice. Alito wants to return this country to godliness. So she heads over to Martha Ann Alito. Now, Sam Alito was in 2005, I think it was, by Bush, or 6. That's where his confirmation hearings are. And so I just want to say that for context, because Martha Alito is apparently still driven by an article that was written about her in 2006.
About her fashion choices.
About her fashion choices. Now, I'm not saying if you're married to an unhinged person, you are necessarily unhinged. I would never, ever say anything like that. But Alito has given us a little clue as to where he's at. We also know that Alito, by all accounts, leaked information to the Wall Street Journal about the ACA case back in 2012 because he was mad with John Roberts. And then somebody leaked the Dobbs thing that he wrote to the Wall Street Journal. In a way of jamming, essentially, some of the Supreme Court justices who were obviously in the midst of negotiations with John Roberts to try and split the difference a little bit. But remember, Alito says we have fundamental disagreements that cannot be compromised on.
Right.
So that's pretty consistent with trying to inhibit John Roberts from compromising on the Dobbs ruling. So I'm not saying that Sam Alito's unhinged because Martha Alito is unhinged. I'm saying Sam Alito's unhinged because Sam Alito's unhinged. And so is Martha. Here is Lauren Windsor.
Shared values.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, are you Miss Alito?
I am.
Hi, my name's Lauren. I just met these ladies tonight, but I'm a huge fan of your husband, and everything that you're going through, I just wanted to tell you that, like,
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
It's not okay, though. It's not okay.
It's okay. It's okay because if they come back to me, I'll get them. I'm going to be liberated, and
What do you mean by gay?
There's a 5-year.
All right, pause it for 1 second.
28 seconds in.
Okay. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm going to get revenge.
Don't you worry. I'm going to
Okay.
get them.
This is really important to listen to because there's a lot of things that is revelatory here. First off, Martha Alito is ready to seek revenge on those neighbors. And she's like, what do you mean? And she's about to say, there's a 5-year statute of limitations on defamation. So we are now in 2024. She can't get at them now, but she's convinced that she can get at them within 5 years. So Sam Alito is planning to retire when Donald Trump becomes president.
Oh, that's a great read.
That's what's happening. He wants to be replaced by somebody much younger, and it's going to be Alito times 2 in terms of lunacy. Absolutely guaranteed on that. And I suspect if they've got Alito leaving, they're going to have Thomas leave too. Now, will they leave if Biden's the president? I doubt it. But it's going to be hard for them to hang on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But this is already a conversation she has had, because she's not thinking about the 5-year defamation statute of limitations if she doesn't think she's going to do that. I mean, she's staying up at night plotting this out.
Well, do you think that when she says them, she's referring to the neighbors or to the media? I think she's referring to the media based on what she says next.
It could be. Either way, whoever it is that she's going to get back.
Because she then goes on to talk about this fashion critic, right? Who at the time, I believe, was working for the Washington Post and is now at the New York Times. Or Bradley, could you look that up? I forget where. Robin Givhan, this particular piece that she's referencing, which Bob Silverman pointed out, and we don't need to get into it, but it's not flaming her for her fashion choices at all. It's just talking about them. But putting that aside for a second, the fact that that's coming out of her mouth in the next sentence means I think she's talking about the mainstream press.
It could be the press. Here we go.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay because if they come back to me, I'll get them. I'm going to be liberated, and I'm going to.
What do you mean by?
There's a 5-year defamation statute of limitations.
I don't know what you mean by they. Like oh, okay.
Come on, I'll get you. Come on. You know, I was denigrated early on when we first came to town. And the woman then won a Pulitzer Prize. She was commenting on my clothes. She said that I wore a baby blanket one day. And the next time I had on a Lazy Boy recliner pattern suit. And so when she won her Pulitzer, I called her up and I said, hello, is this Robin Givhan of the New York Times? Yes,
Pause it for 1 second. I just want to remind you, we are not, like 40 seconds into a minute and a half, and she is already laid out, quoted the things from a article about her 18 years earlier to a total stranger.
Yep.
I mean, just imagine that you're out and you sit down next to somebody at a restaurant. You're out with your significant other, and you're meeting somebody else's significant. Hi, nice to meet you. How have you been? I heard that you've gone through a rough time. Oh, you bet I have. And then just unload.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm the Supreme Court Justice's wife. Like, none of that, like, we're at a gala. In fact, when you sit down with that other couple, at least there's like some connection there. This is just a random stranger, and the only connection is, I think your husband's wonderful and you're being attacked.
I mean,
off to the races.
Off to the races. I mean, I'm sure she was well served at the gala, which maybe made her a little bit more willing to speak there. But like, that article talks about how she had something on that was baby blue. It's not critical of her. It's just about her fashion choices. I don't find fashion reporting to be like the most important thing in the world, but she places her importance in it so like narcissistically above everything else, where this reporter won a Pulitzer for her fashion reporting, but she's saying it was because she went after her. Yeah, I got news for Martha Ann Alito here. This reporter didn't just cover the Supreme Court in this one article in the year that she won the Pulitzer. She was doing fashion reporting about a bunch of other people, but she thinks it's because the rest of the liberal media was so intoxicated by how she wrote about my fashion choices, that's why they gave her the Pulitzer, because that's what they do. They come after us.
18
years ago. Yep.
18 years ago. She has been like, her husband has been one of the most powerful human beings on earth for 18 years. And 90 seconds into a conversation with a total stranger, she is listing off how she was wronged in an article
It said her clothes are more Red Book than Vogue, more main floor than designer salon.
Disgusting.
There was something charmingly awkward about her blue cardigan, a cable knit cardigan at a Senate hearing. The sweater has all those connotations of Dan Rather informality, softness, ease, and grandmotherly coziness. And then ... The sweater was also baby blue, which I guess is what she's referring to there. But like, can you imagine? It's just... she's harboring that for that long of a period of time.
I mean, those are fire lines. I see why the author won a Pulitzer, especially if they did call it a baby blanket, which is...
Well, Gavon refers to it as baby blue, like a security blanket.
Okay.
And remember, it says remember Linus. Like it's something. It's kind of like it's an illusion that to like the color. But again, it's florid prose. It's not like she's not being like it looked like crap.
This isn't Fashion Police, that show used to with Joan Rivers on E. Where they used to tear people up.
If I wrote a line like that and the person was still stewing on it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Dozen and a half years
Oh my
later.
God. I would have reached the pinnacle of writing. Go ahead.
Won her Pulitzer. I called her up and I said, "Hello, is this Robin Gavon of the New York Times?" "Yes, it is." I said, "Oh, I'm so proud of you. You're getting a Pulitzer Prize." I said, "And will you be wearing Balenciaga?" And she goes, "No." I said, "Why not?" She said, "It doesn't flatter me." I said, "Oh, come on. Such a high-end thing. It doesn't flatter you?" And then I said to her, "You know, it's a beautiful day. It's April 2006. I said, "Maybe we'll go outside today in New York. It's really beautiful. Take a walk and enjoy life." She never came after me again, but she went after Jane Roberts again. That's why she got her Pulitzer between Jane and me, criticizing the clothes that Jane put the children in and the clothes that we wore.
But why do you think they're coming after you?
They are.
Pause it for 1 second. I just want to say that, like, honestly, like, this is so too...
You can't even make it up.
I'm so flabbergasted as to her proximity to the amount of power that she is close to. I mean, I've met people who are loons in this way, but never who have been so close to so much power.
Like, she's like, did Cruella de Vil have friends in 101 Dalmatians? Because that's what this seems like. Just insane.
She may have had a sidekick, but
how many times do you think she's told that story about calling up that reporter?
it's not even a good burn. It's just
a
like,
weird
also,
story.
I thought it was Balenciaga, but
Balenciaga?
I mean, I'm not, I guess, somebody who gives a crap about what people wear, but it's as if like it's a modern day update on a Jane Austen snob character, right? Yeah. I mean, that's what she sounds like.
It's
the petty, almost like palace gossip of it all, about how her children's clothes and the other Supreme Court justices' wife's clothes. I think that's who she's referring to. Roberts'
she's talking
wife.
to Roberts. Apparently, the woman wrote about Roberts' clothes after that or something. But
I mean, this article's old enough to vote.
God.
And the clothes that we wore.
But why do you think they're coming after you?
They are.
I mean, like the whole like appeal to have heaven flag was like bullshit, right?
Right. But that's, you know, the other thing is the feminazis believe that he should control me.
Yeah.
So you go to hell. He never controls me.
Pause it for 1 second. So the feminazis believe that he should control me. I'll tell you where she learned feminazis from when she listened to Rush Limbaugh until the day he died. That's where she got that from.
Yeah.
This is all, this is your standard Rush Limbaugh listener. And she's saying he does not control me. I mean, this is the one moment where I have a little bit of sympathy for Sam Alito. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So you go to hell. He never controls me.
But like, I have the same flag.
Yeah, I know.
No, but like a lot of people fly that fucking flag.
Don't worry about it, baby.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I should watch my language.
It's all right.
It's all right. I'm sorry. I did not mean.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, but it makes me so angry.
Don't get angry.
It makes me so angry.
Get angry. Bye, baby. Bye, cat. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow. She's a bad girl.
Cat's escort, Lewis.
Hi, Louis. Good to see you.
Right, guys.
I'm Natasha. Nice to meet you. Hi, Natasha. Yes, we're never going back to Wounded Warriors, I'm afraid.
Isn't that awful, though? Why?
Oh, because of the security and all that. It's good we did that. We did that wonderful. You know.
You really did? Something to be really proud of. Do you know that they created and ran the Wounded Warriors program here?
You would never know that because of how they're trying to
Oh,
persecute.
ignore all that. The reality
I don't
is
need
that-
their approval for anything in my life. I need nothing from them.
You don't, but the problem is that they use you to fucking. Pardon my language. Pardon my language.
Your buyer.
Louis, I like
You deserve it. Thank you.
Take care.
They're persecuting you, and you're like a convenient stand-in for anybody who's religious.
I'm German. I'm German. My heritage is German. You come after me, I'm going to give it back to you. And there will be a way. It doesn't have to be now, but there will be a way. They will know. Don't worry about it. God, you read the Bible. Psalm 27 is my song. Mine. Psalm 27. The Lord is my God and my rock. Of whom shall I be afraid?
I love that you have that attitude because that's more of what we need. I was telling your husband, I was like, and it should give you like a little bit of background. So I met him last year at this dinner. And I said to him, I was like, this country is so polarized. How do we repair that rift? He was like, I don't know. It's not our role. And I told him this year, I'm like, for the past year, I remembered our conversation and I looked at what happened to you and your wife, and I'm like, how is there any negotiating with the radical left? There's not. You cannot negotiate with the radical left. You have to just win.
They feel.
You
They
have
don't think.
no, but you have to win.
Pause it for
And
1
if we
second.
want
Do you hear what she said? They feel. They feel. They don't think. The left feels. This is like
Facts over
like
feelings.
This is like Ben Shapiro level. Like this is.
Yeah.
Well, are we going to skate over what she said about her German heritage? Look at me.
I'm
German.
The
I don't know what it means, but it could mean meow, meow, meow. I'm a Nazi.
Yeah, I don't understand. I come from a German family. I've never been like, when people get us, we get them back. Like, what?
I don't know. That's some story I feel like she's told herself as to like what justifies it as opposed to her own personal lunacy.
Like, go kaput.
It's ethnically,
Might as well say Teutonic.
It's in my
like she's-
genes.
yeah,
Yes.
Like she's like Teddy Roosevelt or something.
Go ahead.
just win.
They feel.
You
They
have
don't think.
no, but you have to win. And if we want to take this country back to like a godly place, to a moral place, that means that we actually have to just fucking. Pardon my language again. I'm so sorry.
You know what I want? I want a Sacred Heart of Jesus flag because I have to look across the lagoon at the Pride flag for the next month.
Exactly.
And he's like, oh, please don't put up a flag. I said, I won't do it because I'm deferring to you. But when you are free of this nonsense, I'm putting it up and I'm going to send them a message every day. Maybe every week I'll be changing the flags. There'll be all
Pause it for
kinds-
1
I made a
second. Just a reminder, the idea that there seems to have been a plan for when you're free of this nonsense. Incidentally, the nonsense is sitting on the Supreme Court as a Supreme Court justice. That's the nonsense that she's referring to. I can't wait until you're no longer one of the 9 most powerful human beings, maybe on the planet. Let's,
Outside
the
of
top
money.
50, let's just say.
Okay.
In terms of influencing the structure of society, so that I can put up flags as a way of fighting back against the rainbow flag across the lagoon. Go ahead.
I'm going to send them a message every day. Maybe every week I'll be changing the flags. There'll be all kinds. I made a flag in my head. This is how I satisfy myself. I made a flag. It's white and it's yellow and orange flames around it. And in the middle is the word vergogna. Vergogna in Italian means shame. Vergogna. 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 Shame, shame, shame on you. Anyway,
Well, I just wanted to let you know you have a lot of people rooting for you. Thank you so much.
You know what's funny there? It almost feels like Lauren got like nervous.
I was going to say,
I gotta get the hell out of here.
Lauren Windsor ended the conversation. Like, she could have probably been there for another 45 minutes.
Yeah, right. This woman's a lunatic. I have it in my head. It's flames, it's orange, it's white, it's called Vergonia.
I can even spell it out for you.
Slowly backing
Incidentally,
away.
this is my idea. I don't want to see this flag anywhere else until the day I fly it myself.
I've been creating all these different pellet templates.
Vergonia.
The corkboard.
Look at me.
Vergonia.
Vergonia. Vergonia.
All of a sudden, Lauren Windsor looks around and the entire room's empty and she's locked into it.
You're going to help me make this flag, Lauren.
I've got to get out of here. Oh my God.
Stitching it together, stitch by stitch, stitch by stitch.
Vergonia. Vergonia.
I'm going to show you my special flag. If you only fly at midnight.
But if you're at like the bus stop and someone was like, look at me, I'm German. Like, I would be like, I have to get out of here.
Sam, you've got to resign from the Supreme Court. I need to build my flag.
Also,
Vergonia! Vergonia!
speaking of Germany, Italy.
Just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
I feel so bad for Sam Alito right now. Vergonia! Vergonia!
God, maybe
I don't
we
think she's
were.
melodramatic at all.
Maybe we were wrong. Maybe she is the crazier one.
Oh, no, she is the crazier one. I think it's quite clear. But,
Lito's managing an impossible situation right now.
Whoa.
Jesus.
I'm just glad she has her flags to occupy her. I mean, God knows what would happen if she didn't have her little hobbies.
I watched the first Omen last night, and that's what that Vergonia part reminded me of.
It's really, honestly.
Summoning something.
Folks, I'm going to head to the fun half. God. We got to be mining that thing for drops, please.
Oh no, I'm
We better.
I'm compiling it.
Vergonia.
It's tough because there's a lot of background noise,
Vergonia.
but yeah.
I mean, not for meow meow meow. That's what I'm adding to my personal little soundboard.
That is amazing. Folks, it's your support that makes this show possible. You can become a member.
Imagine James O'Keefe like backing away from somebody he like that. Like, okay, I think we got enough.
I mean, the Vergonia thing, it sounds like a vampire blood ritual or something, and like you're chained down, and the witch comes. Well, I guess now I'm mixing, but comes over and says, "Vergonia, you'll rue this day."
When I was living in Somerville with Benjamin back in my comedy days, a couple of Seventh-day Adventists knock on the door, and by the time, like 45 minutes later, they're like, "We have to go." Like,
Looking at their watch.
we have to go. That's what it felt
It's
like.
like, oh, I'm getting a phone call. I didn't hear your phone ringing. It's on silent.
Oh,
Lauren Windsor's there with the biggest scoop of her life, and she's like, "I gotta get out of here. I'm afraid of this woman."
She gets invited like to the second location.
Wait, where are you going? Where are you going? Wait a second. I didn't tell you about the second flag.
Yeah, you can come back to my.
Wait, what about the other flag I made? I only told you about one.
I have so much more I'm ready to spill.
What is that? What is that? The German word for the knife in the back?
Dolchschlosslegende.
What about my Durchschlosslegende flag? Wait a second. I didn't tell you about it.
we should check to see if Vergonia actually is like a Nazi thing, and if it's not, we should make T-shirts.
Yeah, I think if you search Mussolini Vergonia, I think you'll probably find something.
But if it's not, we should make Vergonia T-shirts and steal her idea.
Oh, definitely. Oh, we should definitely.
Like with all of the things
the
she
flag.
describes there.
We got to get the flag. We've got to draw the flag.
I know. I mean, honestly, she might truly lose it at that point.
Make a killing on Vergonia flags.
Next year at the same event, Lauren walks up to her and she's like, "There is a 5-year statute of limitations on copyright violation. And I'm going after those people who made the flag. With my flag.
It's my flag.
Vergonia on them. Vergonia on them. Folks, it's your support that makes this show possible. We could be producing so much more content like this with your help. You can become a member at jointhemajority.report.com. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.